Welcome to another match preview here on Stones TV and the Maidstone United podcast, where we look ahead to our first game in the 25-26 FA Trophy. To an away day, one of our longer trips, the first of three on the spin on the road. This one down in the English Riviera again, and our hosts, Torquay United. So firstly to the Chippenham home review, and it was all over by half-time, a response required and a response given to snap that brief losing run. Your thoughts then, Nigel, on the Stones rushing to a 3-0 win, with questions posed by our very own KGG.
It was a good performance, isn't it? I mean, first half especially. I mean, you can't go on about like this. We did slacken off a bit in the second half. Yeah. Maybe there was a little bit of a response. If I'm being a little bit ultra picky, I'd like to have maybe seen us grab a couple more, because obviously we saw how tight the league was last year.
Yeah.
And Torquay were denied promotion by just the one goal, weren't they, in the end? Yeah. Any opportunity like that to boost your goal difference, is always a good thing. But you can't argue. After coming off the back of two local derby defeats, like you say, it was probably over. To be fair, as soon as that first goal went in, that.
Did feel it,
Kirkbrove scored there. I mean, you said it in the preview, didn't you? You just want to, you actually called it to a T, didn't you? You just want a nice early goal, nice easy afternoon, game over by half time, and that's exactly how it panned out. Again, there were some good performances in there, wasn't there? I thought Kirkbrove, really good. First start for Maidstone, really good. I mean,
that assist as well as the goal.
Oh yeah, do you know what I mean? I was saying that. It was, and it's good, and that's not a fluke either, because he obviously practices that, because you saw that video when he signed the contract, that goal he scored for Chippenham, where it was a kick out from the goalkeeper, and he actually assisted the player, got up, ran into the box, and then volleyed that ball from the assist that he'd given the assist to. So it's certainly something that's part of his game, and that's it shows good technical ability as well, doesn't it? Because I use the term 50 pence there, do you know what I mean? Sometimes these players, they head the ball, don't know where it's going to go, they're just heading it up or heading it forward, and you're not exactly heading it to a player, but it was a cushioned header straight into Gilbert's path, and lovely, and I just thought it was just an all-round good performance. I mean, obviously you have to worry for Chippenham, they've been in the league now 5-6 years now,
But more than that, I think. But might not be for much longer. Unfortunately for them.
You're looking for a response there. I guess there was a little bit of a response in the second half, but I mean, what we've always said before, it's all about what we do, isn't it? And giving those players, minutes like Kirkbrove, he made his first start, and then it's going to be important going forward that you get these players that are on the peripheral of the squad, getting them their minutes, getting them their time, and Golding got the goal, the third goal. Again, that's good for his confidence, isn't it? What's that, 3 goals he scored now?
Possibly 4, I think.
Is it 4? Yeah. That's quite a healthy sort of return at this stage of the season, isn't it, for somebody that came in as a trialist? So it's positive stuff, and we've got a good run of games coming up now in the league, especially, where you'd like to think we can again get out that little bit of a head of steam going into the month of December.
And to answer Ben's question from the post-match interview with Mr. Elakobi, the last time we scored 3 in the first half, well, it was that 4-0 home win here against Boreham Wood back in March this year. Now some transfer news that broke the day before that Chippenham game, and Taylor Ferran has signed for Maidstone United on a permanent deal running until the end of next season, 26-27. The 22-year-old defender initially joined the Stones on loan from League 2 side Bromley a month or so ago. The two clubs agreed a permanent transfer last Friday. Taylor won't play again until December, possibly mid-December, when I bumped into him after the Chippenham game. But knowing he is our player for the next 18 months, he will be worth the wait, I'm sure. Your thoughts on the fact that we can start falling in love with Taylor on a permanent basis, Nigel?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's great, isn't it? Like we said, he's come into the club and he's been a breath of fresh air, hasn't he? Such a precocious talent, very much mature beyond his years, which probably is a good thing being a defender. He's got the right size, very much a George Elakobi project player, isn't he? Somebody that wants to learn, wants to listen, wants to work hard. All the attributes that that we look for, and then we've got him on a contract till the end of next season, which again, as a club, that's the way you want to be going, isn't it? It's all having these short-term contracts, but as we've seen in the past, that only allows for we develop these players, and then clubs come in and take them off us and pay the fee for them. So hopefully we've learned from that, and we can start putting some foundations in place to grow the club, because it's not an ideal situation. I know it's where we're at, and getting these short-term contracts in and getting a lot of trialists, but ultimately you want to sort of get these players and develop them knowing that you're going to be with them. I mean, it's like you've said about Taylor's injury there. We're not going to be with him till sort of like mid-December. Well, if he was only on loan, then it's loan over, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So and you can't, and in that situation, then you're then forced to sort of play him earlier maybe than what he wanted to play, or the club is going to say no. Bromley's going to say no because we don't think he. But this way, he's our player, so we can.
It's decisive, isn't it?
We can nurse him and manage him in the best way we can, and we can ease him back into games, get him on a bench for a few games, get him on for the last 10-15 minutes of game, nurse him back into the fold, and you've got a talent there for the future. So that's what the fans have been crying out for, isn't it? Us included here, on the pod. A club of our level, is a lot more professional now. We're not an East Midlands League club. We are a professional club, and that's just the way to go, in my opinion. And and then hopefully that will lead on to other signings as well, because if you know that we're serious and we look after our players in the right way, then you're much more likely to get other players coming in of similar ability, aren't you?
That's the hope. In other player news, a huge congratulations to both TJ Bramble and Dion Moore, who have been called up for international duty with Antigua and Barbuda and Guyana, respectively. The two teammates are set to be on opposing sides when their national teams meet on Tuesday, the 18th of November, in the CONCACAF friendly series, with other games for them both to play before then during this current international window. All of us here at the Maidstone United podcast would like to send our best wishes to both for those upcoming games. So to the comings and goings since last we met, Torquay United and forward Josh Phillips joined on a 1-month loan from League One Luton in late August. He has since moved on loan to Bedford Town. Defender Denzel Akimpong initially signed a short-term deal after being known as trialist A during pre-season. At the start of last month, he signed a contract extension until the end of the season. Midfielder Keane Anderson joined on loan from Aldershot for the month of September and has since returned to Hampshire. Jayden Crosby joined Dorchester Town on a 3-month loan. Left-back Matt Carson is currently with Taunton Town, also on a 3-month loan. Forward Cian Dillon was on a 1-month loan from QPR in October and has since joined Enfield Town on loan. So Nigel, the same players in and out seemingly, and almost the same squad as they had 3 months ago, and certainly not harmed them for the most part.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they dropped out of the playoffs, didn't they? A couple of weeks ago, they struggled to win an away game, but they've London Buses. They've had 2 in the space of a week, so that's obviously going to boost their confidence. So I mean, it's going to be the same similar situation to us, isn't it? It's going to be sort of like what sort of obviously they're at home, but clubs at this level, you want an FA Trophy run. I know some of our fan base have said, me included, I'd love an FA Trophy run, but it's just the fact that we've got Torquay away. Do you know what I mean? I'd like a local game maybe, and get that one out of the way. But I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? And we know we've got a good record against Torquay over the years, and I imagine it's just a chance for the likes of Cartbow and probably Kurtaran now, getting minutes. Lucan might get a few minutes. I mean, I don't know how close Carvalho is to coming back, but maybe he might be involved at some point. It's a useful exercise, isn't it? And if we get through it, then hopefully the draw will be favourable in the next round. But looking at Torquay, they've got their own injury problems. I know Cody Cook's not been available the last few weeks. Louis Dennis has been playing, but I think he's sort of only just coming back from an injury himself. But obviously we know what talent he is. Sonny Fisher's coming in. He's started the season in injury, and he's coming back. He's sort of managing his minutes, so you think he'd get some minutes. Sonny Bluelow Everton is another player that's coming back off an injury. Of course, he sustained that injury down here, didn't he, at the Gallagher in that 1-1 game right at the beginning of the season. So he's just coming back from. So I mean, they're in a similar situation to us. So you know the talent, you know the the squad depth that both these clubs have got. So it's not going to be a hindrance to them. Of course, we're going to be missing TJ as well, as you just said, they're away on international duty. So we've all got our sort of like injury issues, but then that's why you have these big squads, aren't you? I mean, it's just going to be on the day, isn't it? It's not going to be anything as a reflection of the season. I don't think it's going to play on any team's mind. It'll be one of those that whichever team loses it will be, we'll just concentrate on the league now.
Exactly.
And for the other team, we'll come off the back of win. Both teams have come off the back of wins, so just keep that run going for either team, won't it?
So to the key goals so far this season, Nigel's already mentioned one or two earlier. James Heyman has played every minute so far this season. He and his defence have 4 clean sheets to date. Heyman is one of 5 players to play in every game. Joe Fulston, Jordan Dyer and Sam Dreyer are the defenders in that group, along with forward Jordan Young. He has 8 goals so far this season. His most recent was a consolation free kick at Dorking. Louis Dennis has 5 goals so far this campaign. He scored a match-winning brace at Farnborough last midweek, and Callum Dolan has 4 assists already this season and has scored 2 in his last 3 appearances, including the opener in their most recent win at Maidenhead last weekend. So Nigel, an ever-present defence along with some forward players enjoying scoring and creating. Your thoughts on those key men?
Yeah, exactly. They are key men, aren't they? Again, that's going to be which way Paul wants to go. The likes of Jordan Young, Dreyer and Dreyer. It might be an ideal opportunity to give them a rest, give one of the backups a go into the team and get their minutes up. But at the same time as well, they're home. They've got a team that's travelling a couple of 100 miles down to them. It's an ideal opportunity for them to have a run. I mean, they've got a better FA Trophy history than what we have. I mean, they've been to Wembley before in the FA Trophy, haven't they? And it's just, I say it's just going to be one of those on the day, isn't it? We know the talent they possess. It's no, they're one of the teams. I mean, I think I even predicted them to win the league at the beginning of the season. So, the talent's there, and it's just going to be, it's going to be the old cliche, isn't it? Who wants it more? Do you know what I mean? I think it's going to come down to that. I don't think you can read anything more into it than that. It's not going to be the end of the world if we lose it, and as I say, if we win it, it's good. But and you're going to win it. Again, it should give you that confidence. If you do win it, you're playing against a good team.
A team you'd expect
do you know what I mean?
to see.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, you're not playing a team that's come through a few qualifying. Look, I mean, I'm using this as an example, but in the FA Cup game when we lost to Folkestone, obviously they were the league below. We know the talent they've got in that team, but it's almost in pounds the thing. You think we shouldn't be losing to a team in a lower league to us.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a team in the same league as us, or a team from a higher league, then you think, okay, we lost, but we competed well, and it doesn't dent your confidence too much. But yeah, I say it's just going to be one of those. We know the talent they've got, they know the talent we've got, and it's just going to be who wants it the most.
So Torquay's form since last we met, and they were knocked out of the FA Cup, mentioned at the same round as the Stones. They were beaten 2-0 at AFC Tottenham. To the league, they've played 15 matches since the August 1-1 draw at the Gallagher. They've played 8 further games on the road and managed 11 points from 24, winning their last 2, as Nigel's already mentioned, topping up, boosting the points there at Farnborough and Maidenhead. And they have played 7 further home games in the league. 5 of those were wins, including 3 clean sheets in a row at one point, before finally losing to then league leaders Hornchurch at the start of the month. So Nigel, decent home form, but as already mentioned, Hornchurch have showed the blueprint that you can go there and get a result already this season, as the Stones, as we already mentioned, have done so quite often in the past. Yeah,
I mean, and that's the thing as well, isn't it? That's maybe one of the advantages that we went in the last couple of seasons. We've got a draw there. Well, that's not going to be the case. It's going to be decided on the day, so it's not going to be sort of like you can go for it, because sometimes if you're behind in sort of like the 90th minute, really do you want to go and push for an equaliser to get a replay back at the both teams don't want a replay, do they? Back at the Gallagher or on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, whenever it would be. So it's going to be decided on the day. So in that respect, you can probably sort of go gung ho, and if you are down in the last 10 minutes, you can sort of like throw the proverbial quick kitchen sink at it and try and get that equaliser and carry that momentum into the. I think it goes straight to penalties, doesn't it? It doesn't do extra time and penalties, does it? It's straight to pens, isn't it?
I believe so now, yeah, because I mean they've. With all the cup competitions in recent years, they've sort of stripped everything back, haven't they? So
I mean, that was something they brought in during lockdown, wasn't it? Straight to pens, and I think they've just kept that one. I know the FA Cup is extra time and penalties, but yeah, no. So in that respect, it's not going to just. It should be to your advantage in that respect, so you can go down there and really go for a result.
So this is the start of Torquay United's 14th campaign in this competition. Nigel alluded to earlier, they reached the final. It's actually in their first appearance in the competition back in 2008, where they lost 1-0 to Ebbsfleet. Know the feeling. In front of 40,000 at Wembley. Less so on that front. They lost a two-legged semi-final to Wrexham a decade ago and have two other quarter-final appearances since then. So Nigel, the Stones know how to get to the quarter-finals of this competition. They last did that in George's first months in charge. Can the Stones match that run from 3 years ago?
Yeah, and you'd like to think, again, this is another thing that we've said before with George, and the style that we play, we are a good cup team because we do, and probably from that point of view, it's good that we are away because we are, we press high, don't we? And we're a counter-punching team. And if you keep that solid defensive record intact, which we seem to do, you've got a chance, haven't you? And I mean, I only proved that in that first season when George came in, wasn't it? The very first game he was in charge was that Notts County away. Yeah. We won that on a penalty shootout. We went to Eastleigh away, didn't we? In that run as well. Now he's got a good record in that. I mean, it wasn't so good last year at Horsham, and then I think we got knocked out to Barnet in our FA Cup year, didn't we? But obviously we was otherwise.
I remember that one. Me and Darren getting blown away.
Our attentions were elsewhere at that point, weren't they? So in that respect, and even that playoff run last year, again away from home every time, one-off games. We know how to get the job done. And
even the form already this season, there's been a couple of defeats on the road, but it's still one of the top 5-6 sides on the road already this season, Maidstone.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone to Tottenham, who hadn't lost at home for over a year, and we beat them there. I mean, maybe a little bit fortuitous there with a back to the wall performance, but a win's a win, isn't it? And it shows on the day. It doesn't matter how you get the result, and that's the case in FA Cup games, isn't it? It's not. Or cup games or one-off games. It's not how you get the result. It's the team that gets the result in the end and gets through the round. So, in that respect, there's good positives there. So again, hopefully we can continue that this week. I mean, the message is going to be there. George is not going to take about whichever team he puts out. There's not going to be a backward step, is it? There's going to be an opportunity for some, and the likes of, like we said, like Kurt Turan and Lucan, if they get an appearance, it's a chance to sort of stake their claim and get into the side, isn't it? So.
Exactly. So if you can't remember all of the players from the previous meeting back in August, then why not head back to our previous Torquay preview video and podcast from this season for more information on Saturday's opponents and hosts. The links to the video and podcast are both in the description below. And if you can't make it to the game on Saturday, be sure to tune in to Chris and Darren from 2:40 on Stones Live. You'll see them on the hot take and then hear them on the highlights once they go online. The under-23s are now 7 unbeaten and host Herne Bay in the league on Tuesday evening at the Gallagher. A 7:45 kickoff there. And Maidstone United's women are also back in action this Sunday at Hollands and Blair Reserves as they start their Kent Plate campaign. That's after their 10 out of 10 performance at Sellinge in the League Cup last Sunday. A 4:30 kickoff over in Gillingham awaits, hoping again to go at least one stage further than last season's semi-final. Details of that match, all the matches, all the upcoming fixtures for all the Stone sides available on the club socials and website now. Well, we all know the Stones have a very good record against Torquay United, and despite the late equaliser conceded back here in August against Saturday's opponents, Maidstone will hope to go one better against their hosts in the trophy. Both sides are in decent and in fact matching form, identical records in their last 9 league games. Looks like it will come down to very fine margins. Really looking forward to our latest Cup adventure. Our thanks to you all out there as ever for watching or listening to the latest preview. Like and subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Just search for the Maidstone United podcast. See or hear you for our next preview ahead of the league away match against Dorking, a game that rarely disappoints. And as always,
come on you Stones!